what's up, everyone? GleeCon here again with our weekly installment of Lore of Final Fantasy. We're going to do the 8th part of Final Fantasy 1 today. Thank you for joining. I'll just stay a while and listen as we jump right in. Last time we really ground out a lot of stuff. We're at 18,000 gil. If we look at our walkthrough, we need 36,000. So we stopped at the halfway point of the grind. And that's what it is today. So hopefully we're going to get, call it 9:45. So we'll go to 11:15, maybe 11:30 to try to grind out stuff. Yeah. So I'm not sure exactly how. Yeah, that crit should do the job on these lesser tigers. I've been saying over the past couple episodes that I was really hoping that my sickness, if you pardon my voice, was coming out of the other side. What do we get? 300 gil? Okay, also where we are on levels. Level 21, so making good progress there. The levels go up to level 99 now. I'm pretty sure I was doing a thing where I was like going up and down the whole... trying to hit every pixel. Let me go back and try to start doing that again. But yeah, I kept the past couple episodes, I'm like, yeah, I think I'm coming out the other side. I think I've already hit the best possible... No. I feel worse today than I felt this whole time. So if I cut Mike like that from time to time, that's why. It's because I am doing the best I can. Okay. These guys are pretty much bozos. Not really worried about that. Darkness doesn't do anything. I don't notice a difference. Allegedly, gives you a very slight reduction in accuracy. Okay, so we're at about 500. Actually, we probably could call that 600. I literally don't know where we're at. Let's see on the map. We're up there. Let me go down to where we were before. Every 4 fights, we'll look at magic. We looked at white magic, I think, last time. So we'll go ahead and look at black magic this time. I think. I'll try to be a little more thorough about that so that we can get through that. Or last time I think I did it every 1,000 gold. I'll try to be a little better about that. All right, so we're about 800 gil, probably a little shy. Where was our demon tail? I think that's about where we are. Oh man, I hate these. This is where I started using magic. Oh, don't tell me they got a preemptive strike on me. They did. That's 4, 5, 6, 7. Lame. Okay, so this is where we definitely magic it up. Nice fire. And yeah, we'll see what we got. It's just that these guys can't have the potential to do so much magic damage. Ooh, see 9 damage on that one? Unacceptable. Okay. Glizzy has 300 potential life. 310, she's pretty good. Okay, I'm going to call that one just 100, so we're at 900, but we did get an antidote out of it. Alright, so this is the Devil's Tail. We definitely had already done this one, so this is where I'm going to start my pixel. Here's our 4th fight, so after this fight, I'll go ahead and we'll take a little peek at the magic. After this, this kind of act of the game is gonna go a little fast because we will have ground out some solid amounts of gold. There's what slows us down is every time we hit a new town. There is one more town in this act, I think. Actually, I don't know that it's in this act, so we might be good for a little while, or maybe this episode and one more. Once we finish out this stuff. Although we are kind of going slow right now. We need to fight some ogres. Alright, so call that 300. So we're at about 1,200 gil. So, again, we need 1,800 for this one. 18,000. We're about 1,200. Alright. Excuse me. Alright, so we stopped at black magic last time. It says black magic is simply great to have because even if you have strong attackers, a physical attack can only kill an enemy at a time. Black magic can debuff, stun, confuse, weaken, it buys time. It can also be used to buff your own party, doing hundreds of damage to the strongest bosses. And black mages are pretty much going to just be using this. And once you start finding items capable of casting spells, you're not even going to be using physical attacks from at least 2 of my mages. So that's cool. All right, so that's a kind of prelude to what magic is. All right, back to the pixel. We're now going to be going for every pixel again. All right, fight one more of these shadows. I think I said we're at about 1,200. 1,200 of the 18,000. We are grinding out unnecessarily some armor, but we're also grinding out some levels. So that's kind of why we're doing it. Okay, we'll call that 200. So we're at about 1,400. Ah, this is what we were waiting for, my lovelies. My lovelies. Oh, yeah. Love it. And all for we're gonna get all this gold for 1-2 damage. Love it. Okay. Yeah, 700 gold. So we're at, just like that, we're at about 2,100. I think that was my second fight too. And keeping track of the fights. I'm pretty sure I did this little... another one. Heck yeah. Love it. See, that's why I put the hammer there. The whoever there, because just in case that rogue didn't kill, I wanted a little cleanup. There you go. The mage did that job nicely. Great. I'm gonna call this one only 600. So we're gonna say we're at 2,700. Let's clear this little valley. I think I already did this last time, but it doesn't matter. In the OCD pixel game, there's no penalty for doing the pixels too many times. Okay, so this is a good example of... Man, we are close. I think we go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and fight this one out. Anything more than 6? Dang it. There you go. I would have ignored it. That's good. Okay. So we still... Thank goodness. Yeah, they can kind of... Yeah. Oh, he did not kill. So there's going to be a minimum of 1 more round. She didn't kill either. Okay. No, it doesn't really matter. You should be... Yeah, they physically can't stop us. Okay. Okay, we'll call that... Maybe we're at an even 3K? Yeah, we have... Actually, we're at 31. 3,100 so far. So that's not too bad. Yep, here we go again. Okay. This is even less. They do drop good money, so there is a slight worth-itness to it. Kill it? No. These don't matter. I guess they can both go there. Okay. Nice. Alright, we're going to look at some magic now. That was... Call it 3,400. Alright, so looking at the next part, there are spell types. So there are the elemental families, ice, fire, lightning. The death family, it's a very small family. The sleep family and the slow family. There are also some one-shots. Specific status ailment stuff. They also have temper and saber, which are buffs, as well as haste. And they talk about the suffixes, the cura, curaga, curaja. Not really a big, excuse me. Nothing new, nothing earth-shattering in the how much we are learning. See, now here is an example where we will... This is worth a fire. Now that we're fighting 8 mobs. Good thing he didn't get paralyzed. Yeah, it's worth a little... He's getting a little low on MP, because Fyra does take a pretty decent amount, but... Cool, that was 601. Where are we at? 22,000. Pretty good. Alright, that was a sneezing Holocaust. Maybe over generous, exaggerative use of Holocaust, but we've obliterated one tissue. I think it was 4 in a row. We're getting there. With the grinding. But hey, I'm happy to do my convalescence with you guys. Isn't this how it always goes, though? I get some time off of work, and my body's promptly like, time to relax and not stress about work. Now, all the sickness that you've been bottling up for 6 months can just come out right now. Psychologically, we know you're not going to stave it off because you have crap to do. I did, despite feeling sick, I did do some cooking. I was a cooking mama yesterday. Because my wife, I've talked about this in previous years. I know I have. I can remember. Every year, kind of one of our traditions is my wife, she will make like a massive amount of cookies. 10, 20 different kinds. Maybe on today's episode I'll run down some of those kinds with you. And the kinds from this year... Anyway, it's a very time-intensive process. It's a very money-intensive process. After this fight, we'll go ahead and look at the next magic. But it's far cheaper than, like, buying presents. And we will send approximately a dozen just jam-packed overflowing tins out around the country. For people in lieu of gifts. Alright, so by the way, black mages can learn the first 6 levels of magic, excluding the teleport spell. And for 7th level, they can learn Blizzaga and maybe 8th level blind, or vice versa. Black wizards can use them all. Red mages can learn up to 4, and at 5th level, they can learn Vairaga and Slowara. Red wizards can use the first 5 levels, and Thundaga and Blizzaga. Ninjas can use the first 4 levels. So, there you go with that. Okay. Yeah, these shadows are just too easy, so I feel like when we fight these guys, we just gotta let it roll. Now, before I get into what's the cookie situation, I'll talk about, so another part, it takes my wife usually solid couple days. We're at 23,000 even, by the way. 13,000 to go. But apart from the time needed to do the cookies, it also wrecks the house. I mean, you're talking about the entire dining room, the entire kitchen, from head to toe, just filthy. And all of the things that would otherwise be happening around the house during this time. Standard cooking and cleaning, chores, taking care of the dogs. That is 100% off of the table too, because she's literally cooking for the entire time she's home for a couple days. So the reward is I get hundreds of cookies. The downside is that it's a two-person job in a different way. I also do all of the packaging and organizing and decorating of the cookies. Let's do a cure on our black mage. She's getting a little low here. Okay, we'll call that 2 fights. Now we're working our way back. We've done every possible pixel available. So I went to the store the day before yesterday, and I came home and did a lot of prep work. And then I made up some food yesterday. I made homemade egg rolls. Fried those bad boys up. And I made sorry, I'm having like some brain fog a little bit. That last sneezing effect just shook me, made me feel bad. So you were watching me at my lowest, I think. We're gonna power through though. At one point, I'm not so far gone that I can't play Final Fantasy, man. Like, come on. This is a toughie. We're gonna fight our way through. The fact that there were 3 ghasts and not as many ghouls had me tempted to... that's a bummer. Even between the 2 of them hitting that ghast, they couldn't do it. Which locked us in for a mandatory 1 more round. I've yet to see the white or black mage get paralyzed. I wonder how that works. Alright, let's go ahead and heal up the thief too. It's 500 gil though. Get him back to good graces there. Okay, let's see. Spell listings. So this just kind of shows us at level 1 there was fire or fire 1, which was some minor fire damage. Lightning or bolt 1, same. Lock or focus 1, which decreases the enemy's evasion rate. These are all sold in the first town. And sleep or sleep 1, it can put the entire crowd to attack. I'd say that's probably better. Focus is dumb. What would you ever want that for? Where are we at? We're also at 24,500. All right. Oh yeah. All right. Let's see what happens. Nice. Took out one ogre. I don't know what these hyenodons do. I don't think I've ever actually let them get an attack off. We might find out this time. Yeah, it's strong. Okay. There we go. Good Gil. She needs to heal. Everybody is starting to get ready for some healing. Alright, let's get my tank. Juice him back up. You're getting goosed! So anyway, yeah, that's, so I did that. I did the cooking, prepping, and then I did, I did all of that, and then yesterday, I started the cleaning process. And I did all the cooking. And the cooking Chinese food, I made sesame chicken, homemade egg rolls, rice. It's time consuming because, you know, for egg rolls you have to make the filling, then you have to construct and roll all of the egg rolls, and then you've got to fry everything. So, you know, it's just whatever. This is what it is. It's not like the end of the world. But anytime you're doing a lot of frying, you are, you know, making a mess. Frying is, even if you have a frying shield, you're gonna make a mess. It's just not a clean process. You have to dispose of the oil, fry everything in batches. You know, it is what it is. I don't have like a McDonald's fry station set up at my house. 26,000. Okay, we're down to 10K, guys. 10K. After this fight, let's do another level of magic. Today is my wife's last night of her work stretch before she goes on a little mini sabbatical, or she'll have almost a week off for the Christmas season herself. So today I want to finish cleaning, because I've done a lot caught up, but there's still a lot of work to do, and then I need to get back into the rest of the house's stuff. Like, the house needs an extensive cleaning. Laundry needs to get caught up. Just all those little things. So I gotta get on top of all that. Yeah. Actually, let's do one of these bad boys. Alright, level 2 magic. These are all sold in the second town, Provoca. That's the pirate town. They don't have any notes. You can get Ice one. Costs a little more. I don't know why. That one is more hard to cast than the other two. Slow. I feel like that one, it's all enemies. So it's kind of like luck or focus. It just hits everybody. Dark, even worse. Who cares? What's the difference between hit rate and... like, that's just dumb. Temper is great, though, because that's basically like a buff. That's one of the best ones in the game. So you come out of there with Blizzard and Temper. The other ones, who cares about? Oh, I didn't realize I set myself after that demon dog. Okay. I also need to get... excuse me. I want to do all of the wrapping of my wife's presents today. I'm going to get that done while she's not here. So... I want all of this done. I can do this today, and then tomorrow afternoon I can... Oh, that was a 62 damage hit. That's what these lesser tigers can have in store for you. That's the damage they can offer. Because, you know, tomorrow is already Christmas Eve, guys. Can you believe it's upon us already? Cray cray. So tomorrow will be Christmas Eve. I don't know if I did all these little pixels up here. Why not? Love it. Oof. And in the evening, my wife and I have a tradition always on Christmas Eve where we will... she will... Sometimes we'll break this up over 2 nights, but it's not going to work out. Oh, Glee Man leveled up. HP and strength and luck went up. Gleecon the Thief, little 3 HP, some strength and stam, and luck. Gleezy, 30 HP, 6 MP. An agility and increase, and that means soon old Gleebo will also be leveling up. So you tell me what you guys think about this, and our little tradition. She will wrap all the presents. She is just better at it than me, and you know, it's not one of those things where it's like, I just can't do the dishes. You're just so much better at it than me. You just have to do it. I could probably devote time and energy into improving my craft as a... let's go ahead and do another one. Actually, we'll wait until the mage levels up. As a rapper, I'm not saying it's a skill that's outside. I can wrap presents serviceably. Every now and then I'll do a present. I'll be like, oh, that was a good job. But by and large, my wife's just better than me. Hers just look good. They're tight. They're crisp. She has a good technique. She has a patience for it. There you go. Gleebo gets 2 HP, 18 MP, some agility and intelligence, luck, and we got an X potion. That's cool. Where are we at? We're at 28,200, so we need 7,800 more. All right, let's go ahead and look at the next level of magic. So in Elfheim, which is our more semi-recent city, you can get all the level 3 spells. Also, once we can find the mage staff, you can use the once we find that, you can just always cast Fyra, which is great. So at that point in time, we're never going to be... Someone is never going to be doing attacks again. Whether it's a white mage or black mage, they're just going to be doing Fyra every turn. Once we get Thor's Hammer and the Gauntlets, that's 2 more items that can be used. The White Wizard will equip Thor's Hammer. That's it. She'll just be doing Bolt 2 all the time. Or Bolt Thundara. And the Gauntlets will also add that in there. So at that point in time, why would we not use those? So you can get Fire on Thundara, which is an all enemy cast. We see how that goes right now. Hold or Bind. That's a paralysis. So that'd be nice if it worked. Fokara decreases all of their evasion rate. Meaning I guess you would hit them a little more. It's called Lock 2 or Focus 2. I don't know. I guess it'd be cool if that hold or paralysis worked. And I have seen it work. That would be cooler. Yeah, and by the way, we're also level 22 now. So just creeping and crawling our way up the ranks. Can't argue with that. We've gained a level on this episode. And that's really... Oh no, that's not what I wanted to do. Good. Good, okay. So 49 is enough to kill him. 39 is not, so they have somewhere between 39 and 49 life. Alright, where are we at with Gil? 28,500. Ugh. Such a grind. This is why they say in the guide it says don't grind for the knight's armor. It's not worth it. It is probably not worth it. We're probably doing all this for, like, you know, 5 points of defense or something stupid like that on our already pretty solidly tanky dude. So, oh good. And I don't think it has any like special status bonuses. 451 Gil, man, I'm telling you, that is a strong... Alright, so here's where we're gonna now do the Dragon's Tail. I'm gonna come back around that other side with that. Beautiful. And, yeah, so anyway, I did say I was going to get to those cookies. I will get there in a minute. So that's what life has been like for me. It is my time off. My wife will have one more day, so I got to take today on top of everything else. I want to get the wrapping done today. It's not like I have a mountain, but, you know, it takes me a long time. She's also faster than me. Oh, yeah, our tradition. So the tradition is not just she wraps the presents. She will wrap, but I will be her, like, I probably have said this in previous years, I'll be her little accompanying sidekick. So I will stay with her. We will both make a couple drinks. So whether that's like a little Christmas eggnog, or whatever, some standard or more Christmassy fare. I do make a really good holiday... I like to be a little bit of a mixologist here and there. And one of my just top hits that people come to me for and ask for at the holidays every year, I make this cranberry... now that mules are getting more and more popular, it's kind of... I've taken a mule variation on it this year, and I've also dialed back. I used to make a full-on homemade cranberry cordial. The problem with the cranberry cordial is... Oh, we haven't fought these werewolves in a while. You've really got to strain the heck out of it, and you're still going to get a kind of a thicker, sludgier end to your drink. Especially if you're not drinking it fast. Let's look at level 4 magic, by the way. These were also sold in Elfheim. Blizzara is the third Ice 2, compared to Fire 2, Bolt 2. Once you get the Black Robes by the Black Wizards, you can cast that for free. The Wizard Staff can also cast the other one, Confuse, which is an all enemies, makes them attack each other. That's kind of cool. Sleep Aura can disable one, and Haste is actually a pretty cool way to buff the party as well. So anyway, while I am sidekicking it back there with her, so I might make this cranberry mule that I've been doing. You take a little vodka, your vodka of choice, and ginger beer is what makes mules for the most part. Very popular right now. They must taste good. I can't remember the last time I've drank ginger beer. I don't drink these things. I just make them. But they're very, very popular. Add a little lime juice, lemon juice, depends on the recipe. I think I do a little lime when I'm doing the more holiday one. I'm sorry, little lemon. And then you add in I add my special ingredient is you buy a pre-made like box of chai concentrate from the grocery store, and you add like a teaspoon of that in there. I mean, not a teaspoon, like a tablespoon or like an ounce. And it all of a sudden people just ooh and ah like you made the best drink ever. I'm telling you, it's very simple. Other than that, you just make like a regular mule. Throw a splash of cranberry on top. By the time you get all that stuff going on in there, there's not a lot of room left over for anything else. So that's it. But there's, you know, I also do like a toasted coconut mule. My wife's likes that. Much simpler drink. Just, oh, Power Plus. Let's see what these are. I think this is a one-shot. It says it raises strength, but I think it's like raises strength only for this one fight. We're at basically 31,000. We need 5,000 more gil. We are getting there. Alright, so anyway, what I will do is, when I'm in sidekick mode, I will make one of those, and then we will pick a book. And we will read that book. I will read it out loud to her for the entirety of the time it takes her to make these presents. Wrap the presents. That might be 3 or 4 straight hours. And then we will not pick that book up again until the next year. So, there was one, and usually, you know, think about reading out loud's a little slower than reading in your head. So it might take us 3 years to finish a book. But we've done some of the like little ancillary Game of Thrones books that way. The one we finished last Christmas... This has got to be a Fyra. This is too much. That we had been reading for 3 Christmases was... What's the name of it? It's got the word sky, I think, in the title. And I'm getting spam mail blown up and it's like vibrating the heck out of my watch. Where are we at now? 31,600, so not a lot. Cloud Wonderland, some crap like that. They made a movie out of it, and it is... The story starts like super, super long time ago. It works its way up to the future, and then it works its way back through the same cast of characters till it ends at the very past. And the stories are kind of thematically linked and have some recurring-ish type of characters. It was decent. Alright, level 5, these are the ones we just recently learned in Melmond. Firaga, which we now have to hit everybody with an entire Fire 3. Teleport, which we don't have because we have to upgrade to Wizard to be able to get it, which will let us go up 1 floor. So it's going to be pretty useful. We are going to pick that up, I guess. Scourge. That could potentially kill the entire group, but it costs so much mana, it's not worth it. Slowara can slow 1 enemy. Alright. Also, eventually Scourge, aka Poison, can be cast by getting the Bane Sword. Eventually. Did we get that for ourselves? I think we did not. I think I was... Yeah, we saved a spot because we want Teleport, which also gave us a kickstart on our Gil production. Yeah, we're getting some good fights right now. Like, at the rate we're going, we're gonna have plenty of time to explore and play. Play some more of this actual chapter after the grind. That's good. Great, love it. Yeah, we're at basically 33,000, so we only need 3,000 more gil. That's nothing. And I'm pretty sure we're not even halfway through the episode yet. Love it. Okay. Yeah, so we're gonna have to pick a new book this year. That'd be good. And I'll do that. I'll read to her. It's only 300. Come on. Alright, so now we're gonna slowly make our way. Now, what might slow us down is as we get out of this little area, we are gonna get some weaker mobs when we fighting like regular wolves and stuff. That's like that. 100 gil. It's nothing. Now, there is some ogre. Yeah, here you go. This is where you can get a fire going. There you go. Boom. Bam, 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 bam. Satisfying, but I only have 2 more of those left in the tank. Yikes. Okay. But that was probably a decent amount of gil. Oh, just what to look. These guys are, yeah, see, these are what you fight more over here. They're not that bad. They give an okay amount of gil, and they're not that tough. Yeah. 280. Alright, we need 2,000 more gil. Come on. Alright, so let's also now talk cookies. What do we got for cookies this year? And then I will talk about what I'm going to make for Christmas. So, cookies. Alright, so she has long made a certain kind of fudge. It's got like a little bit of walnut and Oreo cookie crunch stuff in it. I'm not a big fudge fan. I don't like super over-the-top sweet things. I like a little savory in my life. Or I like a cookie that is very dippable with milk. So if it's going to be super sweet, I want to be able to have it absorptive with milk. And fudge is neither of those things. It does not absorb milk at all. And it's crazy sweet. I don't care what the kind of fudge is. I'm just not a big fan. The kids love it. Stores well. Lasts forever. And she made it like double batch. So tons of fudge will be around my house for a while. Not the biggest fan. The only other thing that we keep in the fridge, she makes a toffee bar. That thing is... That goes off like gangbusters. That is extremely popular. The kids love it. They will fight for it. They will greedily choose it. They'll be miserly with how they hand it out. They're... Alright, we need 1,500 more. Alright, let's look at level 6 magic. This is our next town. We can buy it in Crescent Lake. It's very expensive, 13,000 per. You can get Thundaga. Which is the mid-tier of the Agas. You can get Death or Rub. Thundaga, by the way, is called Bolt 3 or Light 3. Can potentially kill one enemy. There used to be a glitch, I think, where it would work on the last boss. Not anymore. Quake could potentially kill all the enemies. Cool. I would argue, then why would you not pick that? And then Stun. It's like Paralysis, I'm guessing, but maybe more effective. Like, what's the difference between, say, Sleep or Stun or hold. Like, I don't know, other than the fact that it might be more effective. And none of those are available from items, so don't get yourself cooked. What did I say? Yeah, we need 1,500 more. Yeah, now we're starting. I've got ourselves on the Pixel Walk. Oh, bummer. Back near, we're getting, like, this is going to be 100 gil. No. And a poison. Alright, then the only other cookie that's completely, like, non-dippable, she makes these always as well, are, she'll just do, like, a chocolate dipped pretzel. Actually, some of them are not chocolate dipped, they're like a candy coating dip. She'll do, like, red and white and, red, white, green, chocolate, dark chocolate, because my son likes the dark chocolate. And she just dips the pretzels in, puts some sprinkles on them. But she'll make like a massive tubs and tubs of them, and they're very, very, people love them. So, very easy to eat. You could eat like 100 of them. They take a long time, so it's kind of a pain in the butt. She doesn't love making them. And because you're just individually dipping each one, setting it to dry, adding it with sprinkles, dipping, repeat the process. And when you do the candy melts, I guess that's a little annoying too. Yeah, these tarantulas are a little annoying because they're too tough to solo. They add that Poisana effect. Maybe we'll get some decent gil out of this. I almost should have added in, done a fire on this one, but we only have 2 casts left, so. Well, 300 gil. She needs to do some more curing. Alright, okay, as far as the other mini cookies, there are 2 other mini ones we made this year. We make this butter spritz. She makes those because I absolutely love them. It's just a basic, simple butter cookie. Put it in a gun. There we go. There's some mana. I mean, some gil. And she has this gun that has like different little filter, almost like cookie cutters at the front. And it makes them shaped like snowflakes or shaped like... Okay, we need essentially 750 gil. Shaped like snowflakes, shaped like little trees, shaped like little stars or something. I don't know, something else. Level 7. In Gaia, you can buy Blizzaga, which is Ice 3. That's the final Aga. Or Break, which is basically Petrify for wizards only. In Onrak, one of the last towns, you can buy Saber, which is increases the caster's attack power. That's stupid. Because it only works on yourself. But I guess maybe if you combine that with the Cat's Claw, now you're okay. And Blind, which is completely useless. Saber can be cast by anyone using the Giant's Gloves. Oh, and it says if you're playing the original, there's a bug that makes it do nothing. Cool. Alright, where are we at? We are so close. Hopefully we don't, like, fight a bunch of wolves or whatever, and if we can just get one more ogre, although I'm definitely nerfing my chances by fighting right next to the town here. Look at this. Darn it. Yep. Now I've just been like, oh, okay, I'm so close. Why don't I really slow it down and fight some wolves? We need to be 100 over, too, because I need to stay at the end to rejuvenate my life. Also, she makes these things that are pistachio buttons, and she just outdid herself with them this year. It's like a roll cookie. It's green in the middle, and like brown on the outside. It's got little crunched up pistachios in it, as well as a pistachio extract or something like that you do on the in the mix. But normally they're a little crisp and crunchy, but this year I don't know what she did, but they are chewy and soft and dippable. And if you like the taste of pistachio, which is perhaps my favorite sweet taste out there, I love pistachio. I love pistachio soap, lotion. I love pistachio, like, I don't care, air freshener, ice cream, cookies. I am a huge, it's probably my favorite scent. Love it. Look at that. Yeah, baby. This is going to go a big way towards helping us be done. Okay, so then there are... Oh, yeah. Oh, man, we need 119 more gil. 119. And then we can go rest, buy this armor, and move on. Let's just use the fire since it's going to be... This is not going to finish it for us, but... Be close. Alright, so... as far as chocolate cookie goes, she makes this thing called a chocolatey snowman. Chocolatey melted snowman. It's a chocolate-based cookie that is iced with white icing. There you go. We need 19 gil in order to be able to sleep at the inn. So this should do it right here. Yep. And then you put like a couple little sprinkles and circles to make it look like a snowman, features that are melted. And then you put a half of a Reese's peanut butter cup to be like the hat. And then you mix the chocolate with peanut butter, so it has a strong peanut butter taste. If you like peanut butter chocolate cookies, you'll like it. I'm not a fan of peanut butter cookies, so these cookies are only meh to me. If you dip them in milk, they're okay. All right, level 8 can only be cast by the wizards. There's Nuke, which is an all-enemy, non-elemental damage. Kill, or Doom, or XXXX. By the way, Nuke is also called Flare. Has probably a decent chance of killing everyone. These are all sold in Gaia except for Flare, which is sold in the last town. Stop, which has a chance of stunning all enemies. And Banish, which has a chance of potentially killing all enemies. A lot of those make their way back in the form of different summons in later Final Fantasies. Alright, we're going to now buy this ultimate armor for my dude. The Knight's Armor. Whew. Let's see what the difference is for all that work. It is 10 extra points of defense, traded for 10 points of evade. So that's solid. It will probably sit with him, I hope, for a decent amount of time. Watch us just immediately go replace it. But, you know, it did get us to level 22, that grind. I would say we got probably a couple levels in a pretty easy area. Okay, so... what else for chocolate? She made something like a hot cocoa explosion or something like that. It's called Cookie. It's a new one she hasn't made before. It's a incredibly sweet chocolate cookie. If you like super sweet cookies, it's a little too sweet for my taste. And it also has marshmallows melted inside it. I guess you freeze them so they don't fully melt. I don't know how it works. My wife doesn't like marshmallows, so she doesn't like this cookie. But it tastes good, and it's pretty soft, and it's a very dippable in milk cookie. All right, so now we're going to go to the Cavern of Earth. We have to go here twice. So the Cavern of Earth, the first time through, the point is, I think that we make our way. The entrance is probably the center. We can find a couple thousand gil in the top. We can find an antidote and some gil down there. We can find more gil in the bottom path, as well as a potion. Lame. And then we will make our way to A. Alright, so that's fine. We're going to just make our way down. The point of this is we ultimately want the Star Ruby. I think we have to fight the boss, which is the vampire, in order to get this. Why do we want that? Because then we are going to need to go back to the Titan's Cave, and we will feed him that ruby, because remember we read he likes gems. That will give us some treasures. And when we enter the old sage, just by getting there, he will give us the earth rod, which will now allow us to go back to the cave, the Terra Cave, and use it to enter the final floor, actually the final 2 floors, where we will fight the Lich. And that will have allowed us to complete this dungeon. All right, so back to the Terra Cave now. Where are we on time? Let's check that out. Okay, we're probably just right around halfway, maybe a little bit past halfway. So pretty good. I'd like to try to finish this whole thing out before we go, and I think we can. All right, summarizing what we just learned. So all they do is kind of, we don't even need to look at the summarizing. It's not even worth it. They just show you where you can buy things and what they do. If we look at the recommendations, we'll look at those next time. Let's go get our walk on. All right, so back to the Terra Cave now. This is at the bottom of the little devil's tail. I don't think we're going to notice much of a difference because our defense was always already through the roof with our knight. There's only 1 or 2 monsters that were capable of really giving us a run for our money with that knight's armor anyway. Didn't do anything, no extra status effect. Okay, we took 3 damage in this fight. Whatever. Got a little gil. Alright, let's see how far we can get. What else for chocolate cookies? The only other straight up chocolate cookie that is a pure chocolate is actually one of my favorite. I'm usually not a big fan of chocolate cookies. I don't like chocolate cake. Not like I don't like in that I won't eat it, but just I would never pick a chocolate cake as my cake, just not my style. But it's called a Black Forest Crinkle Cookie. So in taste and consistency, it's almost like a brownie. A little maybe drier. It is inside, it's got probably extra chocolate to help give it even more of a chocolatey pop. And then it's got cut up black cherries. And then you cook it and dip the whole thing in some powdered sugar. Not a big fan of powdered sugar either. So this on paper would not be one of my favorites, but first of all, it is one of the most, I'm a sucker for a dipping milk in cookies. It's one of the most dippable. It's like brownies are so good, and they're really good if you dip them in milk, but they kind of crumble and fall apart. It's like, what if you could have that not be the case? That's what these cookies are. All right, let's look back at our guide again. All right, so Black Mages and Wizards, first of all, if you want to recommend, it says they are late game powerhouses. which is really good when we fight the fiends. They can also buff the party, and their instant death spells, I mean, with save states, could really be cool. We can basically, they give us the option to like cheat the game. A lot of the time, their direct attack spells are like the same as a fighting. But yeah, so they say at level 1, what does it mean if it has an asterisk? I'm not sure. You definitely want sleep and focus. And fire and thunder. So this focus is useful. Okay. Level 2, you definitely want temper. We like that one because it's a buff. And blizzard, dark, you want it. Yeah, it has little effect. So it's whatever. I can't remember what the other one is. Level 3, they suggest hold, Fyra, and Thundara. Hold can work against some magic, some people. Level 4, Blizzara, Haste, and Sleep Aura. Confuse is also one that we like. I think I went with that one. I don't remember. Level 5, you definitely want Teleport and Scourge. It rarely works, but I guess it can be useful. Slow Aura. You might want Firaga, which I think I took. Because I think Scourge you can get from a sword. Level 6, they say take Stun and Quake. Quake is probably better than Rub or Death. And Thundaga. Blind, Blizzaga. I don't know why they get rid of the Agas. Break works often. It's technically not insta-death. Saber would be useful, except that it only works on the caster. So might as well just use the Giant's Gloves. Yeah, so Saber's not worth it. And then Stop is it's the only non-attack spell. It affects everyone, so that's pretty cool. Flare is useful for like endgame fights. Kill and Banish, just pick one of them. Got it. All right, and then if we're looking at the actual guide, okay, so we want to go north to get our chunk of gil to get this one started. So let's see what we got here. We want to go to our first room. 3 cobras, that's nothing. Okay. And we survived 4 hits. Dang it. Good. Good. Okay, we did not get poisoned this fight. Love it. Alright, so in here, there is not an auto fight, and we got 2,000 gil from that. That's great. Okay, so now we're going to work our way around straight to the south, and at first we're going to go to the right of the 2 forks. Anacondas seem to be stronger. I'm guessing they're stronger versions of the cobras. Technically, an anaconda in real life doesn't poison. Let's see if they make these bad boys poison. We're gonna find out. Maybe we won't. Well, what we will find out, I guess, we will either definitively find out, yes, they do poison, or we'll just know they do hit hard. 25, I mean, not the hardest we've seen, but okay. Alright, so we don't know that they poison or not. They might not. Oh, here we go. We got another chance. Same fight. Great. Man, the White Mage's HP is very good. Okay. I'm trying to remember who did I fight? I think I had the weak ones taken on the top one. Yeah. Okay. Alright, so I don't think anacondas poison. But they sure do want us to fight them. I guess we're gonna test our theory. They also don't look like anacondas. They look like cobras. They have a sort of a flared neck. My guess is, based on the amount of times we just fought them and got bit with no poison, that they don't poison. That's my guess. Famous last words, right? Alright, so that's 4 fights. Let's take a look here at the red mages. They're just saying just pick what you can, basically. Yeah. Because your options are limited. Alright, so down we... Oh, whoopsie. Alright, so down... Actually, do we want to go straight down? No, we want to go to the right. Couple extra steps. They really like these anacondas. They should call it the Snake Cave. Am I right? Anaconda Cave? No. More anacondas. We're just gonna keep fighting anacondas. I mean, can you imagine this many anacondas in one space? It's kind of sick. It would be freaky as... Freaky AH. Dang it. I hate it when I accidentally ran with my black mage, because then they do sometimes succeed. Oh, Gleeman, raise the level, 7 HP. Some agility, stam, Gleecon, 3 HP. Some strength and agility, and intelligence and stam, so low HP but stats. Gleezy, 26 HP, 17 MP, agility and luck. And that means old Glebo. Oh, look at these 4 ogre chiefs. Yes, please. Give me that gold. Punch in the face. Yeah, they do nothing against them. Ow. Ow. I don't think it's fair that you went after my rogue twice. Messed up. 1200 gil! And Glebo got 2 HP but 8 MP with agility and luck. Alright, so another 800 gil and an antidote, so nothing really useful there. And back to fighting the weaker but more poisonous cobras. And because of that poison, they can actually out-damage any of their peers. Okay. Oh, he almost got away without a poison. Oh, man. Waited until the last possible hit. Okay. Alright, so looking at the... Let's look at the guide, too, while we're at it. Now we need to wrap around, skip the first down node, and go to the last to get D and E. And then we're going to make our way to the cave. And that will be level 1 fully done. Ninjas, I don't even know why. Yeah, it says attack spells are redundant. Why would you not just pick the 3 that you can? But they can use all. I see, they can use all. So pick focus and sleep. Yeah, low level elemental spells are useless. So whatever, we'll just grab one. Temper, dark, and slow. So don't worry about ice. Level 3, Fokara and hold. Yeah, Fyra, but you can get gauntlets. Just Thundara for free. And then haste, sleep aura, and confuse. Sure. So you just want buff magic and debuff magic with them. That's it. Ooh, a Minotaur. Hello. Well, they're not much stronger than what we fought so far, and their defense seems to be quite low. Okay, so cool. That was cool. Alright, we're gonna skip that one. Oh, hello, Anaconda. My old friend. Anaconda, my old friend. Our leader has over 400 life now, so we broke 400. What's the cap? I don't know. Another Minotaur. I like that we're fighting Minotaurs now. That's cool. Is that just because we're at the south of the cave? I don't know. They drop almost 500 gil. Ooh, there was a fight right in front. What is it? An Earth Elemental is blocking this. Let's see, we did about 200, a little more. So 300 life was enough. That was blocking a potion. But we also got 880 gil. So that was cool. Earth Elemental it up. And back to the Anacondas. Alright, so we just need to find the exit for this floor. We've basically finished out the first floor of the Terra Cave in our first visit. We are going to have a second visit, as is par for the course for Final Fantasy 1. But that's okay. You know, it is what it is. Alright, so now we need to kind of go up and over. Dang it. Dang you, Anaconda. Oh, I need to heal my mage. Ow. Oh my gosh. Okay, we're gonna magic it up. What thunder are these fools? Yeah, I gotta get out of there. I don't want to risk a protracted fight. Okay. This should... Yeah, that's fine. No biggie. I love that you get 500 gil for that. Alright, so we've... Oh, look, you can squeeze Kiki. Some more bats on this floor. Alright, let's look at our... red mages versus black mages. It says if you have one of each, you have the opportunity of having every single black spell in the game except one. For every level, give 3 black spells to the black and the last one to the red. Debuff should all be given to the black because they can miss often if given to the red. Vice versa. Support should go to the red. Yeah, the only thing they're basically showing you is at 8th level, you'd have to choose between kill or banish. Because red wizards can't use that. Can't use 8th level. Alright, so floor 2. We start right here. We ultimately need to go down through the caves to get to B to allow us to be on the 3rd floor, which we cannot pass right now because of some stone plate. But we can... oh, earth elementals are weak against fire magic. Good to know. Alright, so we do need to get our 2 treasure rooms. Alright, so we need to go immediately kind of boomerang around. We don't cut to the right because it's a dead end. And then go down and boomerang around again. Just keep kind of boomeranging around to get to that first cave. Okay, good to know. Wrong way. Stupid bat. Alright. So, Ogre Chiefs en masse are how we going to start this. That's fine. I love that. It's great for our gold. And Ogre Chiefs do not scare me. Oh! I don't like that. Somehow that Ogre Chief survived 2 hits. That's very rare. It doesn't happen in the outside world very much. Yeah, my main guy can tank the heck out of it. Even an Ogre Chief punch to the face. 1200 gil, yes please. Okay, so we're boomeranging around. Gargoyles. Maybe we put some magic on this? Let's try... Ooh. Yeah, because this is a pretty a lot of... These guys were bosses-ish, kind of, on the first one. Yeah, okay. Maybe that was unnecessary? Okay. Yeah, there we go. So this is a... easier fight. And... this is going to be the last. Not gonna... I can't afford to do... Oh, that's a good hit. He soloed a werewolf. Can't really afford to do magic. I don't want to this early in our adventure. Okay, we got the werewolf, so now we won't get poisoned. Bozo. Great. Okay, let's save. What's our next little bonus here? Tips. Status ailment spells are considered useless by beginners. In fact, they can be used to reduce damage from small enemies. So you can think of it as a white mage supplement. Instant death spells can make the tiny fights fast. Quake and Break are not considered death spells. So some bosses can be insta-death by these, even if they're otherwise immune to insta-death, but most bosses are immune to them. And Haste and Temper are the 2 most useful Black Mage spells. Cool. Alright, so the only other thing we have here is some very... we're going to just recap Red Mage magic. It's lame. And then we're going to open up the appendices, because the walkthrough is on a separate page, where we'll have 2 enemies tabs and then a bunch of general tabs on the appendices, which is going to be neat, followed by some, like, tips and stuff. I mean, I don't know what you call them. Good. This one, which is 330 gil, not blocked. A tent. Okay. Is the coral sword any good? What does that do? It's worse than my long sword, but maybe it is... It's effective against aquatic foes. Would I rather be able... Well, I'm definitely not fighting aquatic foes right now. So... I guess it's nice if I were to decide to specifically work on, like, I don't know what. I don't know what the next, dang. I don't know what the next, little... crystal person is. I wish she would have killed that because it would have saved poison hits on both my guys. It saved us 34 life. But whatever. Now she's going to use Poisona. Okay. I mean, I feel like if we get too low on MP, we can use tents. Alright, so I forgot to look and see what my map looks like. So we now need to go here. So we basically are going to go down, which would take us to the end, but we're going to go to the second, the more westernmost. So instead of going right there, we're now going to follow this more linear path, which will get us to our other treasure cave for the second floor. I hate werewolves. They regenerate and poison. I mean, the regeneration is, like, nominal. So, what else did I not talk about yet? My Christmas dinner. Ooh, there's an earth elemental guarding the cave on the way in. We gotta go back and look and see. Oh my gosh! 110 damage! What in the world? Okay, I gotta go with Fire 1 from my mage so that that does not happen again. We got 575. A leather shield? That does nothing, right? I have an iron shield. He can't use a leather shield, so yeah, that's worthless. 5,000 gil. Do I have to fight this guy again? I sure do. Alright, so now we gotta go Fire 1 on him. Because I can't risk... At that time I think we're okay. Yeah, we can't risk him getting a hit off. That was insane. That's our first, I think, above 100 damage hit. Oh no. Jeez. Okay, now we gotta go... We gotta go magic on this too. This is too much. Too much wolves. I don't want to fight 9 mobs. 2 of which can poison. Okay. I think that's a save state moment there. Alright, let's look at this other red magic junk. Yeah, they're gonna start... They can use white and black. And they can't cast level 8s, but they only still have 3 slots. So they're just kind of giving you a breakdown, like, you're gonna kind of need to make decisions when you play Red Mage. Especially, I guess, if you only had 1 on the party. The trade-off is they're also okay at fighting. I mean, they are a cool class, because... Imagine if you had, like, you're gonna be able to use all the magic that both these two are using. So, for instance... You could have a white... You could have a cure. You could have a fire or whatever. And you could have... Okay, we made it to the 3rd floor. And you can also fight. Alright, so now that we're on floor 3, this is the last one we can go for now. Lots of ambushes, heal up before every chest, and ultimately we're going to have to fight the vampire. And we need the Star Ruby, which is D. So the goal is to make it right there. We are starting here, so we're going to come in right off the bat and go for this chest, which should give us a sleeping bag tent kind of situation. That was a free one. Okay. Alright, and then we're gonna now go as far north as we can, but when we get to our first crossroads, we're gonna boomerang around, and that will take us to a gold needle. Okay. No worries. What can we fight down here? Alright, so this is fine. I'll take this fight all day long. Cool. Ah. Now we're fighting whites. Which is... We're gonna go 9 mobs, that's too much. So whites and ghasts combo. They're still take-outable. But yeah, this is too much with paralysis. The fight will drag. Fine, it's worth it. 1200 gil on that. Alright, let's take a peek at our guide again. So available spells, they're just showing you what's available at each level. I feel like I'd rather skip them for the recommendations. There are 10 black magic spells they can't use. 8 of the 10 are the instant death and stop spells. And some are only available once you become a red wizard. And white magic, they can only learn like barely more than half of them. Only 5 of the ones they can't use are like easy passes, but the other 9 are like massively very important. So you don't have to worry about Dia because you could cast fire instead. But it's going to make healing much slower. And so, for instance, level 7 magic, they only have 2 spells they can get. The other levels they'll be able to fill off, and they can't even do level 8. So, at level 1, they're missing 1 of the white magic spells. At level 2, they can cast them all. At level 3, they're missing a white magic. Level 4, they're missing a white magic. Level 5, they're missing 2 of the white. Level 6, they're missing 2 of the black and a white. And at level 7, they can only do 1 white, 1 black. Alright, we'll look at the recommendations next time. Alright, so what was I doing here? Oh, I'm waiting till this... And then I'm looping around. Got it. So this is where I'm going. I'm boomeranging around. Down. Come on. Get out of my way, bro. Okay, and this will get me... we are going to have to fight. Alright, I'm going to go with a single fire. Maybe we'll get out of it and not have to use it. Oh my gosh! The damage they do to anyone except my tank is insane. Cray cray. So much magic that it costs to get through that. All for a gold needle. Okay. What else do we have here? Alright, so now we're going to work our way back up, and this time immediately go up for 3,000 gil. So go back to where we chose this path. But now choose the other path. Yeah, there's the 3. There it is right there. Alright, so these Pisco demons, you remember, these were bosses early in the game. Yeah, I think we can smoke them now. They do hit hard. 7 damage to my tank. What is wrong with these guys? They're basically mind flayers. They probably have moderate health. Okay. They were able to take 4 hits from my weak babies, and it didn't really matter. Alright. Here we go again. We gotta get lucky on the first 2 hits. That's how it works. Yeah, there we go. That time we got lucky. Things. Oh, Gleeman, 30 HP, baby. He has strength and agility and intelligence and luck all went up. Gleekon, 23 HP, strength, intelligence, and luck. Gleezy, 29 HP and 6 MP with agility and intelligence, stamina, luck. Pretty good level. Oh, dang it. I have to fight it twice because no, I'm not going to be greedy. Because I freaking forgot to open the chest. But we got lucky here again. So that's free XP. You could also easily farm. There you go. Glebo. He just wanted to get in on the party. 2 HP, 18 MP, agility, intelligence, stamina. And that's a massive guild right there. Alright, so going back over to our guide first of all. They recommend... it depends on what you have. So, for instance, if you have a red, a white, and 2 melee, a red, a black, and 2 melee, 2 red, 2 melee, or 1 red and 3 melee, it's going to depend. The null is useless early. The cure spells are always useful. Elemental are good, but will become obsolete due to the melee later. So, yeah, so it's just giving you some kind of tips. Cure becomes obsolete later on because it might be better for magic. Items. Alright, so now we're going to wrap around. That north thing looks like a dead end. Some fire or some crap. I don't know. But we're going to kind of ignore that north. What is that? Oh, it's just bats in a cave. Alright, so we're going to ignore the bat cave, work our way around, and then we'll get 1,000 gil at that first little cave before we get to the vampire. Who the vampire is the fake boss. That's like, hey, so that's a fake bat cave. Okay, so where do I go here? Yeah, I want to go over. Okay, so this is our last treasure, I believe. Okay. Oh, we're gonna get hit. Oh, good. The fire saved us. Yeah. That was worth it. 1,000 gil. We got a lot of money. Alright. Pisco demons. Let's go with Thundara on this one. Let's see what happens. Ooh, I don't like ye. Oh. Well, Thundara is probably overkill in this situation. Fine. 1,200 gil. Just cooking. It's all good, though, because we are going to need this. We are going to be gil thirsty later. Alright, so let's save right here. This is the vampire bat for the last fight. Now, ultimately, we would have to go up to that, but we won't be able to access it. It's just a mob. It doesn't really say a lot about what you do with him. All things in this world are destined to end in death. The seal cannot be broken, and so the earth shall rot. That's pretty cool. I'm sure that is not the graphics from the original. You cannot alter destiny. Mere mortals cannot kill the undying. Find out, buddy. He's a fake boss. Should I go with like a Dia attack? Sure. And then should we go with like a strong, like a fire aga on him? Why not? 54 damage to the tank. I'm just lucky he hit the tank. Let's see what happens when we nuke his behind. That's cool. Oh, it just ravaged his face. 2,000 gil. Cool. Well, I guess we killed the Undying, huh? Alright, so we found the Star Ruby. What's the point of that? Remember, that is to feed it to the Golem. The Golem wants to eat gems. We learned that. Now we have to make our way all the way to the back of this stupid cave. This is why exit becomes such a good spell. Because now we have to fight our way to the back. Whereas if we... like, we don't have a way out because we're not wizards. We have to fight our way back. If you want to go look and see where we could go, a stone slab is set in the floor. An evil force seems to emanate from within. So we are stuck. We have to fight our way back out of this dumb cave now. Lame. Nope. Alright, so... that's fine. Like, I'm tempted to wanna... I'm tempted to want to go to the town to rest up in between these two. Just because it's such a pain to get out of here. Is there an item we can use to get out? No. Okay. Kind of think we have to go down here to get out. Yeah. Okay, so that gets us back into this floor. Where we need to basically work our way to the northwest. Wherever possible. Whoa, what is this thing? A troll. Okay, he died with one hit, so whatever he was, not that powerful. I don't think we ever saw one of those. It's cool. No, I know we didn't. Dang these stupid cobras. I mean, we could use a tent outside too. This is probably a classic tent situation. To restore some mana and stuff. Once we get to the Cyclops cave and back anyway. I'd like to be able to finish all this in time. We might be able to. And it'll be a much chiller... We're not finding all these chests. And that really did, like... That did create a lot of our... resource loss. Especially here in the beginning, in the first floor. Yeah, because this is a pretty easy fight through right here. You just go right out. Stupid anacondas. My anaconda. Don't want none unless you got buns, hun. These guys all must have buns because these anacondas are all over us. That's deductive reasoning right there. Or is it inductive? I always forget the difference between those two. Alright, so we made our way out of this dumb cave. Let's save. And why don't we look at the little cheat sheet for... Alright, so they're saying at level 1 a good combo is Cure Fire Thunder. Just because it's going to help you with early damage if you need to. And if you have a black mage, no matter what, having Cure is always useful. Because it will even take the load off the white mage when you're doing out of combat. If nothing else, that's great for it. If you want to get Blink Protector Focus, because that's better late game utility. But yeah, so I feel like I might, if it was me, I might be going in that direction. All right, so now we need to go to that Titan's Cave. And all thing we're going to do here is talk to the Titan, get these treasures, which are good, then go up and over to the Sage's Cave in the Cave of Sarda, where he will give us the Earth Rod needed to progress. Because that's it now. We started it. We got this. So this is just, to me, needless prolonging of the game. Because we fought our way through the Earth Cave, but they're like, no, 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 no. We're going to create the need for you to go out and come back in. I literally hate these guys. I don't know who's stronger. The Tarantulas or Black Widow. Okay. My guess would be Black Widows are supposed to be stronger. They definitely sound more poisonous. Oh good, we had a sneak attack on them, so maybe we can get out without getting poison on us. Good. Cool. Alright, so now we can go back to this Giant's Cave. Hopefully there's no fight, and... You have Star Ruby? Give me Star Ruby and I let you pass. So that's the whole point of it. Let's be real, they just wanted to give us an excuse to look at his butt cheeks. Crunch munch. Nothing tastier than rubies. Cool. So now he's out of the picture. That's it. That golem or giant or whatever he was has now moved. There are monsters in here. You dirty rat. Sneak attack by a pack of 8 wargs? Suck. Oh. Oh my gosh. And I don't want to waste magic right now. So I'm gonna just attack them. Bummer. Even 60 damage. They just have too much life. With a sneak attack on it, this just sucks. Now, this is now the 3rd round we're fighting them. And their 4th round of attacking. 75 killed it. That's good. Okay. 72 killed it. Okay, so they're starting to get to the point where they can kind of solo wargs. That was lame. I was hoping there would be no monsters in this cave. Stupid. Got the antidote. Ugh. I mean, at least it's these guys. The money, Mr. Moneybags over here. I mean, we're getting... Ouch. Where are we at? Yeah, we're already at it. We're two. So we're not gonna have time to finish this act here. All right, I got a great axe. What can I? Whoops. No, get out of here. What can I do with the great axe? So is it better than my longsword? It is. So that's cool. He can't use a longsword. Yeah, so it's a weapon upgrade. 620 gil. So over 1,000 gil. And a mithril helm. I bet you that mithril helm is a better equipment. Yeah, heck yeah. Extra evasion and defense. Nobody else can wear anything. Alright, so for my main warrior, we get a cooler helmet and a better weapon. So what we're going to do is get this little thing... Oh, and we're going to go back to the cave. Ooh, look at that. That's cool. Right out in front of the... before we go down to the second cave, we're going to use a tent or whatever, and then save. And that's going to be it for today's episode. That's all we can really do. Yeah, I like that. It's got a cool little effect. We haven't used a big ol' axe like this. Alright, so we made it to the other side of the cave. Let's take a peeky poo at this, by the way. Yeah, so we're going to start at Terra Cave Revisited. So next episode, we're going to be revisiting the Terra Cave, making our way down and fighting the Earth King. And then that's going to want us to go back, rest, save up, and then set sail for Crescent Lake, which is going to start us on the journey for the second crystal. So we'll actually probably be able to start that journey, probably do some grinding, because Crescent Lake, I'm sure, will have some new stuff. But, yeah. As far as this goes, let's just blast through some of this real quick. At level 2, they suggest getting Null, Shock, Blizzard, and Temper. They're saying Blizzard is kind of obsolete. It becomes obsolete by the time it's even worth it. Null Shock is useless early on, but it's great later on. Temper is always good. If you want to give up one like Blizz, then you could get Invis or Slow. It's a weak level. So we're going to basically I want to finish the Red Mage stuff. So almost every time we're going to look at something every fight or so. Alright, so we're wrapping around. There's more overland fighting. Okay, nothing major. Couple ghouls. How do you like that axe to the face, you fool? I want to see what our gil is after this whole sitch. Jeez. No. Alright, I gotta go fire. It's too much. Too much, man. Especially when they start paralyzing us like that. Thank goodness. They're really coming after my tank and I don't like it. Yeah, fire is the only way out of this fight because without taking 1,000 years. Alright, into the Sage Cave we go. By the way, let's look at our next level of spell. At level 3, they say definitely cure up Fyra, and then you could go between Nullblaze and Thundara. Folkara is also useful. Nullblaze is essential. You need to have it because it'll help you set up for bosses. Cura also pretty essential because you can use it for in-game, in-fight healing. Fyra is pretty good, and so is Diara. Only one caster needs Thundara because only water creatures are weak against it. Folkara doesn't matter unless you already have plenty of Nullblaze. Yeah, so whatever. This is all academic for us because we don't have a Red Mage. Now this is hopefully a non-combat area. Yeah, what are we doing with these pots here? Nothing? Yeah. Some have like Winnie the Pooh style honey on them. Okay, that's it. He just has a pot room. Maybe this is for pooping. Hi, hello, Sage. His name is Sada. So you are the ones who defeated the vampire, eh? But he was only a servant. Beast corrupting the earth crystal lurks far deeper within the cavern. Here, take this staff with you and use it behind the vampire's chamber. You obtain the earth rod. So that was it. We freed our way. We talked to this dude. And restore the crystals to grace. We now have the ability to do exactly that. And now we're going to fight our way back, and then that's pretty much it for this go-round. We will stop in front of that. We just don't have enough time. Time is not on our side. We could try to fight our way to the end if need be. We have an ether or two, but I'm going to try to use a tent when we're out of doors. See how good that does us. All right, let's see. At level 4, Haste, Nullfrost, and Blazara. Haste is very useful forever. Nullfrost is essential towards the end. Blazara is a nice AoE. Says, resist the temptation to get Poisona. It'd be better to just buy antidotes. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. There's some place that I saw a breakdown of, like, the amount of casts you would need to do on Poisona and maybe it's Soft, whatever the one is, the version of Soft, in order to justify the amount of money spent on the learning of the spell, and how Poisona is negligible, but it's still, like, yes, we do cast it. It is useful. I like to have it with our White Mage, but I'm also debating, you know, which Black Mage spells I'm going to get. I could see doing that calculus because it can be done by those items instead. At level 5, you need life. Cure Aga and Fire Aga. Says clear choices. Can never have too much life casts. Fire Aga is a pretty good attack. It says teleport is tempting, but you can hold out and just wait to get exit on the on him instead. So they're just saying just be patient, fight your way like we're doing right now through, and eventually you'll just get exit, warp, whatever it's called. So cool. Come on, let's get. I was gonna say, let's get out of there without another fight. Okay, and then level 6, get that exit, Thundaga, and Protera or Invisira. Exit's essential. It's not essential. It says, unless you want to use save states or you really know what you're doing, it's just great to be able to get out without fighting your way to the top. I agree. Thundaga really nerfs the underwater part of the game. And Protera and Invisira can be useful. And it says Invisira is a little bit less, but they're both useful. And they make an argument, if you want to read it, for why you could ignore Thundaga and just spam Thundara instead, using gauntlets and stuff like that. Hyenodons, 2 of them. Look at that, 200 damage on an ogre. I like it. Okay. Is my main guy, is my knight currently stronger? Or my warrior? 256? Look at that. I guess they're comparable. Alright, and then if we look at the guide for level 7, you can only learn Blizzaga and Null Death. Null Death is stupid, so they're saying Blizzaga is the only one useful. Alright, so all we have left is the appendices that we're going to discuss over the next few episodes. There is a pretty long one on enemies. We're going to look at the regular enemies appendices. We're just going to scan that. It won't take us as long. And bosses, I expect us to finish that next time. The general one, where we talk about the characters, the epilogue to the game, history, secrets, trivia, that's going to be more useful. And I really, truly think this game is going to start to fly a little bit. As you saw, like, even with grinding out for the armor, we basically finished all of this chunk of the game in today's episode. We would have easily finished it and moved on to the next if it wasn't for the grinding. It's really the grinding that slows the game down. So tomorrow we'll be able to beat this cave, sail to the Crescent City, and get some of our obligatory next step grinding done. And I don't know how much that is going to be. I don't know, like, now that we've gotten some upgrades for our guys here, I don't know how much. I'm sure there will be some. But, like, some of the magic we're not going to be really able to do until we upgrade our characters. Alright, so can we use... Partially restores the party's HP. Partially restores the party's HP and MP. Fully restores that. Let's use a 10. That's old. I mean, that's like a throwback to future times. How much MP are we talking here? It's pretty good. It gave her all her MP. It almost restores all the full HP. And he's pretty full. I'd say that's more than enough for what we have coming up. I haven't saved since I was level 18 with these guys. We're level 24 now, too. Okay, so that's good. So there we go. So that's another episode wrapped up on this one. We are going to finish the cave next time. Fighting down to where we fight our first real boss of the crystals, where we'll get our Earth Crystal. The Lich, then we'll fight our way back to Melmond, save, and then we'll be moving on to the Crystal of Fire. The Crystal of Fire will begin with a visit to Crescent Lake. In here we will have level 6 white magic and level 6 black magic. Each spell costs 13,000 gil. I don't know, so hypothetically we're looking at almost 80,000 gil in magic, but I don't know how much we will actually be able to pick up. If you look at the actual spells too, Stona, Exit's probably the most useful one. Stona is a maybe. Proterra and Invisira are very useful, but I think one of those you can learn from an item. I think Invisira, so I think I'd probably go Stona and Proterra, even though it's not going to be suggested. Same thing with Thundaga, Deathquake, Stun. Probably going to be going with Quake over Death. I'm not sure. We did talk a lot about that. At this point, you can also go to the Ice Cavern, but we're going to skip it. Yeah, so, and we're getting closer and closer, so I don't know exactly how much now as far as this different stuff goes. Weapons, that's cheap. Mithril axe, hammer, sword, and knife. We may or may not need any of those. They're not that bad. I imagine our current armor is better than the mithril mail, so perhaps the buckler and mithril shield maybe the gloves or something like that. So it's really the magic that's going to slow us down. And we might not even be able to use any of it. We have 42,000 before we head back up. I imagine we're going to have at least closer, somewhere to around 60K when we hit that town. So I think we're going to actually have little grinding to do because I don't know how much of this magic we'll actually be able to pick up without going back and looking at like some of the lists we already did. And I really think much of that armor is going to be weaker than or not that expensive. So, yeah, so interesting things at Crescent Lake. The magic is going to be useful, but I just don't know that we'll be able to pick it up. And if we do have to do some grinding, we should easily be able to, in whatever the new upgraded things are, be able to pick up. If you look at this area, there's Crescent Lake, and somehow you're supposed to be able to get up to Mount Gulg. Oh, but once you get here, they will just straight up give you the canoe. So then we'll be able to access Mount Gulg, which we just go straight down to Mount Gulg and get the Crystal of Fire, and that's it. So we'll have the canoe, we'll be all set and ready to rock and roll. The next part will then be getting the airship, which is a different whole thing. I think there's a very real world where we beat this and we're essentially 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 plus 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So 7, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, we have 7. There's 14 parts of the game. So we're probably a quarter of the way through the game, but that's only because we're adding so much grinding in. All right, thanks everybody for watching, listening, and tuning in, for joining me on this adventure. I'll catch you guys next week on the next installment of Lore of Final Fantasy. This one's in the pipe, 5x5.